There's a bowl and a glass up there.
Hey, I'm Texas,
And I'm Ant-Man.
and we are the Tech Bros.
We're coming at you today with the Super Street Fighter 4 review for the 3DS. So first off, Texas is going to tell you how it compares to the console version.
So this is very similar to the console version. However, there aren't moving backgrounds, and it's very easy to use your supers and ultras because you can just tap on the touchscreen and you can use your super or ultra. However, if you're more an advanced player, you can always turn it off in the settings menu.
Yeah, it's called a light mode versus a pro mode. We will show you a demo of that. In the light mode, down on the touchscreen, you have just buttons that you can push to pull off more difficult moves.
So as you can see here, we have 4 customizable buttons you can have. Usually you have your Ultra Combo and Super Combo here, and then you can use any of the 2 on the right side. Now here's our Ultra Combo. It's really easy to get into an Ultra Combo. And again, these are completely customizable to how you want to play.
Okay, here is the main menu. As you can see, you have options of arcade, versus mode, 3D versus mode, internet match, challenge, training, player data, figure collection, and options. Down here at the bottom it says fight against CPU and single player mode for arcade, and it gives you a brief description of every menu option. In arcade mode, you can select your character and go on and battle as long as you want and battle a variety of other characters.
So now we're going to show you Versus and 3D Versus. Versus is the same thing as arcade, except there isn't a storyline. You just do your basic fighting, left and right people. And then 3D Versus is the same exact thing, but except it's a cool 3D effect over the shoulder, which is a really cool 3D effect, and it really brings out what the 3DS can do. And now I'll show you that. Now as you can see, this is the 3D Versus, and it really shows the depth between the 2 characters.
Challenge are various challenges that you can complete. I'm going to go into challenge right now and show you some of those. You can do trial, car crusher, and barrel buster. Car crusher is where your character beats up on a car until it's broken or until time runs out. Barrel buster is when barrels fall off of a conveyor belt and your character has to beat them up. And trial is when you use combo moves and master techniques on another CPU. So we're going to go into car crusher and I'll show you some of that.
Graphic-wise, this is a very amazing experience, especially with the 3D. However, there aren't moving backgrounds, which kind of takes away from the experience a little bit, but it is still very great. But what about playability?
Well, what I've found with the playability of the system, it's very nice using the circle pad for moving your character, but also I've found sometimes it's easier to use your directional pad, especially if you're trying to pull off moves, because you can only fit 4 moves on the touchscreen. Sometimes you need to pull off a move using the controls yourself. You use your other buttons, of course, to punch and kick. So that being said, the controls are very easy to get used to, and this makes it a very fun game just to pick up and play right out of the box. And now we're going to talk about some of the features that don't come on the console version, but were specially added just for the 3DS.
Yeah, no game is complete without some special features, and this game's no exception. And it has a great feature called Street Pass, and you can use that to battle other people's figures. And you can also use coins that you use from your pedometer functionality to get player coins, which you can use to get even more figures to battle with.
Now, what are these figures used for, and you said how do you get them?
These figures are used for the Street Pass's battle mode, and what you can do is if you pass someone that has the same game, you can battle their figures, and whoever's team wins, you can get coins.
And with the Street Pass feature, you don't have to be playing the game or even have the game within your console. The game will save a file onto your system memory, and when you're walking around, someone else can have their 3DS and their file saved on their system memory, and that will communicate, and you will be able to use the Street Pass feature next time you put your game in your console. So it works very well, so you don't always have to have the game in your system to use it. The online play for Street Fighter 4 is amazing. This is the only launch game that has online capability, and I believe the only game to this day that has online capability. When you're playing online, you get to choose from a few different modes. You can choose from light mode, or just the mode that everyone has. You can tap the regular buttons on the bottom screen. You can choose a pro mode, so you only play against other people that aren't using light mode, so that they're actually putting in the buttons and actually doing the button scheme to do the difficult moves.
So you can basically do light versus light or pro versus pro.
Yes. Also, you can do friend mode, where if you are friends with someone on the system and your friend is online, you can play them, which works very well, and it's much easier to find your friends, and you don't have to put in an individual game code every time or for every game, because the system builds that into every game. Also, in the online mode, you can choose from the 3D or the arcade. So you can play with over-the-shoulder view or the regular mode, but then also in each of those, play in pro or light. So the online play is very solid, and I've had no troubles connecting or being disconnected while playing.
Well, every game has their pros and cons. Tell me about the pros.
Well, like I said, online is definitely a pro. And you covered earlier, the graphics are amazing, especially with the use of 3D. Other than that, Street Pass is really fun, but sometimes it gets a little old. The easy controls make this game excellent to just pick up and play, and anybody can play it, whether they're new to the series or that they've played it before. Also, the little figurines add a little bit of extra value to the game because you can try to collect them all and try to get more of them. And you can customize your characters just like you can on the console version, and there's a lot of customization that you can do with the controls. But there's also cons to the game. What are some of those?
Well, the thing that hurts this game the most is the low playability. Everything is unlocked, so there really is no drive for the player to want to play. Everything's already unlocked for you. It would just be like playing Call of Duty and having every single gun and perk unlocked. It just makes it no fun. And also, doing the same things over and over can get old for any game for that matter.
Yeah, like you said, it gets old, but then you do have the figurines to keep you a little bit occupied, but that's pretty boring, just having some figurines to collect.
Yep.
So what would you give this game for a final review out of 10?
I would give Street Fighter 4 8 Hadokens out of 10.
8 Hadokens out of 10. That sounds good to me. I'm Ant-Man,
And I'm Texas.
and thanks for watching.